naturally in a place of a sense of safety and right to exist. And this is where their choice really comes online. Welcome to the More Life podcast, sponsored by Plato's Academy.
Platos Academy is a place of a higher learning community and creative incubation. Learning in a safe and very intimate way to gain a greater ability to author your life and experience more of what you want. This is the academy where people learn the skills they need to activate their unique gifts and step into a more happy and activated life experience. If you are interested in learning more, head over to theplatosacademy.com and also check out the link in the description box. So we are very excited about this episode, and we really want to share with you valuable information, tools, and techniques that will support you to live more life, right? The sense of fully being alive, coming back to your aliveness, and what are some of the tools and techniques that have helped us and in the work that we do, and opening up this conversation so that you can gain some of them and you can apply them in your life.
And this podcast, we really want to start off by talking about choice and learning how to engage yourself and your life and your participation with your life through your choice. And choice is something we will be talking about a lot throughout our time together. And really, choice is at the center of the life that we want to live. And a big part of the work that we do and the work we do with Plato's Academy is helping people get into a place where they're authoring their life, they're experiencing more of what they want. And it starts with learning how to relate to, explore and experience your choice.
Yeah, there is this, how we relate to it is really increasing well-being through choice. And in that, there is this new way that people start relating to their lives from a place of power and authenticity towards what they truly want, right? So when you're activating your choice, you are being curious about what is it that you truly want to experience, to feel. What is it that you want more of? What is it that you want to create, right? This transition from a place of kind of like, life moving you to wherever it takes you, and coming back to a place of activating your choice, so you're directing with more awareness and with more consciousness, the places that you really want to go to, or the experiences you really want to support or participate or create. So choice is really a practice of not only self-love, but it's a practice of activating your power and seeing it play with life.
Exactly. And choice is like a muscle. And it has to do with a lot about our attention and our awareness and where we choose to focus our attention. And some people, don't think they have any choice in their life. And some people think they have a little bit of choice in their life. And some people think they have a ton of choice in their life. Whatever your experience with choice is, it's all a choice. And so the more that you can start to focus your attention and your awareness on what you're creating and what you're choosing in your life, the stronger that muscle is going to get. And really starting off small and formally choosing things that are really within your range of your current muscle of choice. And that could be as simple as you wake up in the morning and you choose to get out of bed, and you place your attention on choosing to get out of bed, and you get out of bed. Success. And marking your choices and acknowledging the choices as successful, even if you complete a very, very small action that you formally chose and completed. This is so important in developing your muscle of choice, because from the unconscious standpoint, success is an experience, and it doesn't matter if it's a small success or a giant success. And getting really comfortable with that feeling of success is going to help you recognize it, and it's going to build the momentum around that in your life. And you don't have to wait until some giant 10-year thing that you've been working towards to experience success, which most people, they don't give themselves the opportunity to experience success.
Right.
So as we start to choose and create what we want through our choice, from making our bed to brushing our teeth to maybe journaling or working out, or whatever it is that we're choosing in the realm of what we feel we're really going to reach for and complete that reach and have that experience, it's building up our muscles of choice, and it's building up our experience of success. And this is the beginning of starting to work with our experience of choice and develop that muscle. And we will start to talk about more things, but really like inviting you to sit down and take a moment and just reflect on your relationship and experience with your choice in your life.
I think a big key that you just mentioned is this, your relationship and experience of choice in your life, but also the attention, right? So when you're inviting people to take a moment and notice, there is this really key part being activated, which is what you give your attention to. So, what you said is like, if you wake up in the morning and you choose to get out of bed, and that actually happens, put your attention directly into the success of your choice being completed, right? And I think right now, there's just a lot of people feeling an insane amount of overwhelm with everything that's happening. But when we go into the basics of, I'm awake today, I am breathing right now, that is a success. And really taking the space to mark it as a success, it almost softens the field of what's possible. Right? And in this like overwhelming space of there's so much happening, there's so much unknown, there's so much uncertainty, coming back to the basics of recognizing, even if it's very, very small, but in reality, it isn't, right? Like you being awake right now, you breathing right now, it requires your whole system to work in a good way, for your heart to pump, for the oxygen to go to the places it needs to. So I feel what you're talking about, giving attention, even in the small successes, it also invites us to really look at life in a more precious way, right? It's like we make it precious because we treat it as such, right? One of our teachers, a big teaching that he shared was, your life is sacred because you make it sacred. So right now in spaces of overwhelm, I feel choice is a powerful tool for us to bring our awareness into that space, to put attention into what is it that I'm choosing? Am I choosing to feel overwhelmed? Or am I choosing to recognize the successes that are actually happening in my life? At an energetic level, keep supporting your forward with more ease.
Yeah, the really well said about the time of our life that we're living in. A time where it is incredibly unknown. There's so much change happening, and overwhelm, crashing, challenging feelings are a really common experience for all of us during this time. And so this is where we get to really flex our muscle with choice, how we feel, and how we start to direct our attention and awareness. And in this way, we don't want to bypass anything. We don't want to bypass any experiences, because
Right.
all experience is sacred. All experience is valid and valuable. And if we're crashing, if we're having a hard time, if we're depressed, it's okay to have those experiences. And really what I'm getting at is, with our choice, starting to allow and dissolve resistance through the practice of radical acceptance. And from the practice of radical acceptance really comes the power of our choice. So when we can really accept the full totality of each present moment, we can then choose our next step. We can really then bring our attention into what is the next step in the direction that I want to go, that I choose to go. And really working with our choice from a place of radical acceptance of our entire past and the present moment is one of the most powerful ways to continue to flex and increase the power of that muscle and the power of your ability to create your life. And there's so many ways that, we can really get into our feelings, we can really get into our somatic body in activating our choice as well. But our choice and the power of our choice starts with radical acceptance.
There's this really beautiful cycle of, not cycle, but just process of choosing that you taught me, which is choose what you want, take what you get, and choose again. Right? And I feel like you're speaking to that with a radical acceptance, right? When we formally choose something that we want, and then we openly receive whatever happens, and then we choose again. So you're in that radical acceptance of you're letting go of the sense of control, but you're actually exercising your ability to clearly choose the experience you want. Right? And I feel that's such a deep experience because there's just so much in there, right? It's like limiting beliefs and what you think it's possible and, all of these things that a lot of the work that we do is actually removing those layers. So what you formally choose gets even more and more accurate in your observable reality, right? Kind of like removing the gap of holding a vision for yourself and actually receiving something that's not quite that, right? So I feel there's more layers to that, of course, but I feel this process of choose what you want, take what you get, and choose again, it really teaches you to be in acceptance with life. And it's almost like a humbling experience, yet very empowering place to be, where you realize that you always have choice.
Exactly. And, our choice is really, the way I look at it is it's a creative process. It's a process of developing our creativity. And the choose what you want, take what you get, choose again is such an important tool to put in your tool belt because, again, some people don't feel they have choice, or they feel like they have one choice, or they don't understand that you're constantly in the process of choosing and directing your attention and grabbing the next moment of life and reaching for the next moment of life and pulling yourself into it. And the choose what you want, take what you get, choose again is such a powerful part of the process because sometimes when we're choosing something, the timeline, the how, that stuff is really none of our business. And so when we can start to really choose what we want and see ourselves able to keep going in the direction of experiencing more of what we want, it's a powerful place of creating more momentum in our life. And I was working with a client, and they were needing to take photos for their website, and they were talking about this whole production that they had to get going for the photos, and because they didn't have the perfect setup and all this stuff, they could not take a photo for their website. And I basically was just suggested, why don't you go out there? They had a iPhone, the latest iPhone with a nice camera. Just have someone help you take some photos, and take 50 photos and forget about perfection. Just you're wanting to take some photos, and they took a bunch of photos, and they had everything they needed for their website without the need for this perfect setup. Mm-hmm. And the teaching behind that is another way of saying choose what you want, take what you get, choose again, is create and adjust. Create with whatever tools you have, the experience you want in this moment, by choosing what you want, and then adjust. No evaluation, no judgment in the creating. Mm-hmm. Just freely moving into your life based on what you know is going to be aligned with what you want. So create and adjust. Choose, take what you get, and choose again. And even if you choose something and you get 10% of what you're wanting, know that you can choose again. And maybe your next choice, you get 50% of what you want. Right. And it's building that muscle. Right. It's like when you start to work out, maybe you start off with 1 pound, and then you move to 10 pounds, and then you're at 100 pounds, and then 200 pounds. It's the same thing of generating momentum with your choice and the muscle of your choice in your life.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And that really speaks to relating to your life developmentally, right? Which is like the basis of the work that we do at Platos Academy, is helping people relate to their lives developmentally, and whatever they're working with or choosing to focus on, we take a developmental lens, right? So instead of like desperately reaching a destination, you almost like relax into the journey of your life, right? Into like, I'm going to choose this today. I'm going to get what I'm going to take what I get, and then I'm going to choose again, right? You are in a fully engaged, participatory way with life, rather than like, I'm only available if I get the goal, or I'm only available if this happens in this exact way that I am, wanting right now. But rather, you realize that you're an incredibly powerful being that has choice and has the ability to create beautiful things. And you're participating in a developmental way, which also talks about our evolution, right? Of creating more and more beauty, of creating more and more well-being, right? And I feel like right now there's so many people that are at a place where they're formally choosing to participate in that, right? And kind of like we're bridging people from a place of like, I don't really feel like I'm adding to well-being, or I'm not feeling the well-being, to move through the bridge of fully experiencing what that really is. And in their presence, you feel this just like a whole different person even, right? From a place of relaxation and fully participating in the journey of life.
Yeah, definitely. It's like that's what we're really wanting, is to participate in our life. And, looking at your life is in a space of developmentally is very valuable. And one of the ways that I also look at choice is through the directions. Now, the directions are a place of west, north, east, south, above, below, the center, the way we perceive. Every indigenous culture on the planet pretty much looks and sees through the directions. Mm-hmm. And we can also look at the general directions of our life. Where are we headed? Where, based on our continued choice and habits, how are we moving in a certain direction in our life? And life isn't necessarily linear. It
Right.
can be Newtonian at moments and quantum in other moments. And the way that we focus our attention in our present moment and in our future and how we relate to our past helps set our direction, the way that we're sailing our ship. And sometimes in our direction, things can actually happen in a very quantum, non-linear way. A healing that sets you up for something in the future that you don't even know anything about comes right now, or vice versa. You receive the benefits of the healing before the healing actually happens. And so in the way that we heal and move forward and create more of what we want, there is an unknown aspect to it. The how is none of our business. The timing is none of our business. But there is a way we can choose and experience more of what we want. There's a way that we can be the authors of our life. We can shift our identities to be the person, the I am that we want to be. And this is the important thing to really start to, download and start to work with and start to examine your choice as we start to make it as simple as possible. How are you relating to your choice, and what are you choosing in this moment in the backdrop of your future and your past? How are you relating to both of those experiences, knowing that you can make the next moment a better experience for yourself if you want? And there's so many different ways that you can choose to do that. And sometimes those are clear. Sometimes those are as simple as taking some deep breaths and finding some things to be grateful for. Like, there's nothing more powerful than waking up and looking up, opening your eyes and finding a few things to really feel gratitude. Not just think gratitude, but feel it. So then you start to move forward in your day with a sense of gratitude. And so this really engaging life through your choice is one of the most powerful ways to heal up your life, heal up yourself. Because what will happen is, as you reach for more of what you want, the things that need to be healed up will also show up. And so keep reaching for what you want. Keep asking yourself what you would like. Keep creating and adjusting, choosing what you want, taking what you get, and choosing again. And for sure, you will start to develop yourself as a person with a presence, with a sense of personal power, with more happiness and love in your heart, and the ability to choose what you would like in your life.
Yeah, beautiful. I think you touched on a bunch of really key things there. And something that just feels really important also is just the level of simplicity, right? There's many times where we can overcomplicate what we're wanting or reaching towards. And a lot of times, a lot of the people that we work with, they actually find the greatest liberation by coming back to choosing happiness, right? Coming back to choosing peace of mind, peace in their bodies, right? There is this sense of, sometimes there's just so much that we're like, almost like the shoulds, like we should be choosing this, we should be wanting this. And a lot of the work that we're doing, and I feel like as you choose what you said, you get to know yourself more, and you get to, things that need to be healed up start presenting themselves, and you get those clues, and all of the path starts opening up to more of you.
Exactly. And you mentioned some really, really good points there. One is you're talking about choosing the happiness. So when you're choosing an experience like happiness, giving yourself the spaciousness and the patience to actually receive what you're choosing. Because a lot of times we can be grasping for things, and choosing is also receiving.
Right.
And part of life is about giving, and part of it's about receiving. So getting really good at the giving and receiving in yourself. And you talked about the shoulds. The shoulds are a place of guilt. So we can let that go. When you feel like you should do something, throw it in the trash and ask yourself what you really want. And there is a part of all of this where doing things in a really present place of directing our attention and our awareness through simplicity is very simple and is not complicated, but can allow us to create actually very complex things. When we go one simple step at a time, the beautiful, complex mosaic and tapestry of our life can unfold into unimaginable happiness and beauty through the simplicity. And complex things can come into our life, but it's not complicated. It's very simple.
That's beautiful. What would be also interesting to talk about is, what are some of the tools that help us navigate when we are maybe questioning our choice, or when we are in this space of overwhelm, this sensation of like, I can't choose, or I don't have a choice. And I feel like one key thing for me that really was just so helpful, and I see it with so many people that we work with, is having a deeper understanding and relationship with your nervous system, right? There's so much information there for you. And in that, a key practice for me is coming back to my breath. And I feel like that is such a, it's, your breath is the first medicine, right? It is there supporting you as long as you're alive. And it is such a powerful tool where when you put your attention into your breath, you can turn a situation of like overwhelm or feeling like you're stuck, or you're, feeling like you don't have choice, into a softening, into a place of, radical acceptance, into a place of more self-love that then moves you into a place of choice.
Exactly. That's a really important point to bring up. And, without the breath, we are not alive. It's like we can survive without food for a really long time. Water, a few days. Breath, a few minutes. And the frequency and rhythm at which we're bringing spirit, breath into our body is directly related to how we feel. And really what you're talking about is the ability to use our attention and awareness to create state shifts. And,
yes.
And, we all have different healing to happen in our life. We all have different maps. We have different kind of homework assignments for our healing. But the first thing that we're always looking for is safety. And you talked about our nervous system. What's interesting about our nervous system is the way it developed was not, becoming something new. It just kind of stacked brains on top of each other.
Right.
And the most simple form to put it is we have the critter brain, and then we have kind of this emotional brain, the limbic system. So we have the brain stem, the critter brain, the limbic system, and then the human aspects of our brain, in a very, very simple and low fidelity map of our nervous system. And this part of our brain goes right through our brainstem into almost like a mirror in our body, from our chest to our stomach, our polyvagal axis. And the first thing that we're looking for in all experience is safety. Now, the way that the brainstem looks for safety and as an experience is it marks things as survivable or not.
Right.
And so if something hasn't been marked as survivable and we're wanting it, we're not going to experience it until it's been marked as survivable. So some of the things that we are so tired of experiencing have been marked as survival. That's why we keep experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we really want to get up on stage and, rock the crowd and give a speech or be seen and heard and celebrated in some manner. But that level of being seen, heard, and celebrated has not been marked as survivable. So our system will literally restrict our abilities from showing up in that way.
Right.
It could make us sleepy. You're writing an essay or an article for some big thing and you just keep getting sleepy, or you get really anxious or fearful. And these are the moments where we can start to direct our attention on our breath, because the brainstem sees things through blood chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it looks at what is safe and survival, when we start to breathe and put a lot of oxygen in our bloodstream, it actually makes it easier for our critter brain, our brainstem, to mark something as survivable.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps to shift our experience from fear, anxiety, which are basically projections about the future, not in the present moment, but they're projections about what might happen.
Right.
And we can start to calm down that experience slowly. Maybe it's only 1% at first,
right?
And maybe it's 10%. Again, choose what you want, take what you get, choose again.
Yeah.
But if you continue that practice of marking yourself as safe in what you would like and what your choice is, the more easily your choice is going to come through in your life.
Yeah. And I think that, we've talked about choice as a muscle. This practice is also a muscle, right? Like maybe at first you only are able to tap into that 1% of your nervous system calming down. And I think that's another big thing. So, the polyvagal theory is something that I'm super fascinated about. And there's just so much amazing information out there about this. So if you're, curious, we can definitely dive deeper into this topic. But there is a sense of, we are designed to actually have those experiences of fear or anxiety. But a lot of kind of like not necessarily a problem, but the challenge happens when you don't regulate back to safety, right? So there's a lot of people out there that they're literally in a constant state of panic, fear, overwhelm, anxiety, terror, right? There's we have so much trauma, and some people directly that they literally haven't regulated their nervous system back to safety, right? And I think that also ties in with being curious about your experience and being so compassionate of your true authentic experience, because that fear that you're feeling or you might be stuck in, it's not actually true anymore. It's not like you have the actual thread.
Exactly.
But it's very real in how your system feels it. So that's, I think, a big part of why we do the work that we do, to help people regulate back to a place of safety, to help them know that that's actually available. And it's a process that it's a healthy way for our nervous system to express and experience life.
Exactly. And you've said so many beautiful things there about safety. And really, it's the core part of our experience that opens up the rest of our experience. So addressing safety in regards to our choice is the foundational part of choice. And like you said, there are different kind of fidelities of our awareness of us feeling safe or not safe. People can walk through the world in a sense of terror and panic all of the time,
right?
Which can be related to both our ancient past and specific traumatic events in someone's early upbringing or in their lineage. And so helping people have a foundational sense of safety and right to exist in their life in the world is central to what we do in Plato's Academy. And is one of the core things that we help people do is move from a place where their attention is sorting for safety, sorting for triggers of danger, to coming to a place of ownership in their choice of, I'm actually co-creating safety with everybody and everything around me.
And life itself.
And because I'm a safe person, I'm naturally going to experience safety.
Right.
And this is a powerful place to be in, and helps heal up a lot of the triggers that happen. Because a lot of times when people are experiencing fear, anxiety, danger, terror, they're experiencing representations of the past. Now, how far that past is, that's something unique to each person. But someone could walk into a room of 10 really loving people wanting to see you be happy and all that stuff, and yet the person who's walking into a room of happiness and love feels anxious.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the present moment. That is some representation of the past being triggered. And so when that starts to come up in Plato's Academy, we start to heal that up.
Right.
And so when those red flags come up, when those triggers come up and they can be resolved, then the person is naturally in a place of a sense of safety and right to exist. And this is where their choice really comes online.
Right. I think that's like a big piece of it, is that it is revisable, right? It can be, these experiences can be, same with that developmental less, you improve them, you heal them, you develop into more and more of the true experience you want in life. And I think a big part of this work too is doing that at an identity level, right? What you're saying is like, you are a safe person. That's in your identity. It is in your core. So whatever it is that you do in life, that's part of who you are. So that's going to be reflected and mirrored back at you when you are going to experience it, right? You have safe thoughts, you take safe actions. And, it's not about like being safe inside your house and not doing anything or not taking risk. It is about feeling the safety to take a risk, to fully interact with life, right? It is not a hermit level, right? It is really to the core of your being, you're safe to fully experience life.
Exactly.
And to navigate whatever happens in your life journey.
And you mentioned something really beautiful, is like really engaging, participating in your life and taking risks, right? And those risks can be very simple and safe. Speaking up in a circle, getting your voice heard can be a giant risk for people to take from a feeling state, even though it's relatively safe, And so part of the ever increasing of a sense of safety and right to exist that we really work on in a big level in Plato's Academy is the ability to make mistakes, is the ability to fail, and also to realize that someone's evaluation system for a mistake or failure is almost 100% of the time completely outdated. And that's why we go back into the create and adjust, because a lot of times people's evaluation system of what something is or what something means is actually outdated. So the more we can go into create and adjust, choose what you want, take what you get, choose again, learning through paying attention rather than evaluating before you start creating, like the photo example.
Right.
Just take the photos and then see what you get and see what feels good and what you're wanting, and then adjust from there.
Right.
It's really, this is kind of the foundational work we do in Plato's Academy. create a greater sense of safety in your being and help you start to choose and learn about yourself and life itself through your choice. To help people resolve the traumas and the limiting beliefs. And it can be challenging work. Like, there is nothing scarier than a full identity revision, because you feel like a part of you is dying or losing hope or things of that nature. Revising a limiting belief can be terrifying. And it's not for everybody. Some people aren't in the space to actually do that work, but it's deep and profound work that will open up the unimaginable happiness for you in your life.
Yeah. And I also, if you feel curious to do this work, if you feel drawn to, heal limiting beliefs, to heal trauma, to really go deep into this process, into this work, I think that is the first sign that you have everything in you to do it. Exactly. Right? So as scary as it is to have a full identity just like shedded and released from your being, you have what it takes to come out of that, right? To fully go through the process of, making space for more of what you want. And I think that's a beautiful way to also look at life, of we are releasing, and that it's really a cycle. We're offering that work, we're offering that healing, and in return we get more choice, we get more freedom, we get more love, right? It is creating more space.
Yeah, we get more of what we want and choose, and where we focus our attention, and that sense of connection, there can be these really simple and powerful spaces that you come back to in your life. Are you feeling safe? Are you not? Are you feeling connected? Are you feeling disconnected? And how can you come back to a sense of safety and connection to then participate in this moment?
Right.
And those are some of the things that are very simple that help bring up the more detailed aspects of our healing. And, just like I don't know if any of you are rock climbers or
snowboarders
or snowboarders or like Sudoku or puzzles. There tends to be like a crux in the climb or in the puzzle, and it's like the hard part. And you're there and you're like, okay, how do I get past this one section? Once I get past this one section, it's smooth sailing to the top. And that's the place to really dig deep and choose this path of healing, and choose the conscious awareness of directing your attention and choosing more of what you want. In this work, there can be like old identities that can make it feel scary, even though it's not scary. You're safe. There can be old identities that make it harder for you to show up. If you're showing up and choosing what you want, it's going to be easier and easier and easier. And the more change and learning that you experience, the more it will be easier to experience that change and learning and healing. It's just, the key is the starting, the really committing to your healing process, the committing to choosing what you want, and continuing to develop that muscle.
Right, giving that attention, right? That intention, that commitment. I think another big tool that we shared is gratitude, right? So using your breath and using gratitude and having a practice where you're really putting your attention into those two tools can really support you in developing your choice and really activating that muscle. One of the biggest tools that I was given is feeling safe asking for help, right? There are so many people out there with amazing modalities really there to help you, right? And that's one of the reasons we do the work that we do, to help people, to support them in this journey, right? So if you're somebody that you're like, okay, I really would like more help, I would like more of an intentional container, or I would like to do this in community, right? Because I think that's another big key of you don't have to do it alone, and you get to ask for help.
Yeah.
So Plato's Academy, it's really designed for that, to give you the tools, to give you the support, to give you the community that tends to become your soul family. And you're in it developmentally, right? So it's a lifelong relationship with everybody that comes to keep growing and keep choosing more and just experience more and more of the true success.
And one of the beauties of that healing in community is the experience of being safe in your vulnerability and your full self. Experience of shame, or I shouldn't share this, or this is really vulnerable, and then to share it and then receive love in reflection is one of the most healing experiences you can have.
Yeah.
And I love that experience, to be able to share something that's really vulnerable, to be fully naked to the world or a group of people, and then receive love back. It's a really powerful experience. It's really helpful.
Right. And that's one of the key principles of our program, right? Is like owning your truth, showing up with integrity, honesty, and sharing the love.
And feeling that you're safe in all of this.
Right.
And building that greater sense of safety and a greater foundation of safety. And the foundation of choice is choice. I'm just going to say that again. The foundation of choice is choice. And now we talked a lot about, breath and safety and these different aspects of the foundation of our choice. But the core foundation of our choice is choosing to direct our attention and awareness how we choose. Now, starting with acknowledging that everything is a choice, and that when we choose to make the bed in the morning or not, it's a choice. When we choose to brush our teeth in the morning or not, it's a choice. If we choose to make our bed in the morning and we do it, success. If we choose to brush our teeth in the morning, success. Now, when we go throughout our day, if we feel a moment that we're not safe, if we feel a moment of disconnection, the choice is to create a sense of pause, come back to our breath, come back to gratitude practice, come back to the practices that we teach in Plato's Academy to reconnect and center around you are safe and you can participate in life.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the foundation of building your muscle of choice. The foundation of that is your choice, your attention and awareness, and starting very small and building from there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to your breath, coming back to gratitude, coming back to participating fully in your life and going from there.
And paying attention. Beautiful. Well, we definitely invite you all to notice and pay attention to the things you're choosing and how you can bring more awareness to your choices throughout your day, right? In any given moment, just really ask the question, what is it that I choose right now? And let us know how it goes. Let us know what comes up, right? As you choose more of what you want, what comes up? How does it feel? What does it look like? What does it sound like?
And yeah, as you start to really explore your current and your future relationship with your choice, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your stories. We would love to hear, how your current relationship with your choice is. And then maybe in a month from now, if it is improved at all or not. So please reach out to us via the platosacademy.com or the comment section below. Please like and subscribe and share this to as many people as you can.
Mm-hmm. Let us know also if any questions come up, right? If there's like a particular experience that you have curiosity or questions and you would like us to go deeper into any area, let us know. And yes, like Tyler said, we are so excited. We've been wanting to do this podcast for such a long time, and we're just really sending it now. You know, we're really wanting to share this material with the world, and we invite you to just share it with, you know, whoever you might think is helpful, whoever you think might need to hear this. Just help us spread our message in a way that resonates and it's in alignment with more and more people.
Exactly. And you know, we're here to share value and to be of service, because that is our path, and we're really excited about sharing valuable tools and being of service through this podcast. And this is our create and adjust, and we're going to keep creating and adjusting and making things better. So please reach out to us. Let us know questions, themes you want us to talk about, and other ways that we can keep improving this podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We're excited to see you in our next episode, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.